You're watching ChillyBoy Productions. I'm Larry ChillyBoy Chilson, and this is my review for Alien Romulus. Now, before we get into this review, make sure to go ahead and click that subscribe button down below so that you can chill with me on each and every one of my latest videos. Alien Romulus is a 2024 horror film from director Fede Alvarez. Space colonizers come face to face with the most terrifying life form in the universe while scavenging the deep ends of a derelict space station in hopes of finding their escape from a meaningless existence on a miserable world. The film stars Kaylee Spaney, Isabel Merced, Archie Renault, and David Johnson. Oh, you'll have to excuse me. I don't know. I've been having a lot of pain in my chest area recently. Not really sure what it might be. Yeah, I'm aliened out here. I've got the merch. I've been super hyped for this film. Obviously, I really enjoyed the franchise as a whole. However, it's become increasingly commonplace that I don't love the Alien films. Now, the first two films are literally among some of my favorite films of all time, whether it be sci-fi, horror, or just in general. I adore Alien and Aliens. Since then, though, not really been my cup of tea. So coming into this film, I was really hoping for some sort of reset after the Prometheus Covenant duo that happened. I was ready to move on to a different part of this universe, try again with a new idea, and see what happens. Now, when I saw that Fede Alvarez was the director, I got a little bit nervous. I love Fede Alvarez when he hits, but particularly as a producer, he can go way to the left. That's why I'm so happy to report that by and large, I really enjoyed Alien Romulus. It's nowhere near as good as the OG films, but I certainly enjoyed it more than this recent run we've had going. So, let's go ahead and talk about the positives first. Well, I have to give it up for Fede Alvarez because this film is beautifully directed. It looks amazing. So many shots in this film were so cool. The framing was excellent. The steadiness of this camera worked so well. The atmosphere was great. And I love that we really took Alien back to being a horror franchise. If Alvarez is going to do one thing, it's going to be give you horror. And he does so in spades with Romulus, whether it's body horror or just straight up tension as we're moving around trying to evade these creatures. It's all done so well. And yeah, the body horror is intense. And I want to say something so bad because there has been a crazy trend in horror films of 2024 that continues here in Romulus, but I don't want to give away even that bit of a spoiler. We get some gruesome body horror moments, but what I enjoyed even more than just the body horror was the suspense, really delving into those set pieces. We have this great one that deals a lot with the acid blood that was so inventive and cool and unlike anything I had seen before. It was beautifully directed. It was beautifully shot on a cinematography level as well. The sound design, top tier, so good. And the visual effects looked pretty amazing. I think there was maybe one or two shots where I was like, oh, okay, that looked a little off. However, by and large, this film looks great, partially because a lot of it is practical. They use quite a bit of practical set pieces, but even the more CG heavy moments look fantastic. And the blend of all of that practical work with the touch ups of CG, wow, that's how you do it. I also thought the acting was really strong. Kaylee Spaney, if she hadn't already proven it in Priscilla, if she hadn't proven it in Civil War, she proves herself here. Three very different, distinct performances, all three of them really, really good. And she is the standout in this cast. A perfect blend of that badass woman who is also frantically just fighting for her life. That's what I loved about her character. It wasn't necessarily about skill set, it wasn't about what do I know, being a badass because of my training, this, that, or the third. It was about survival. And that's what this character fully embodied, fighting for her life and doing in some pretty sick ways. So then, what doesn't work so well when it comes to Alien Romulus? Well, I think the pacing is a little bit sluggish, particularly in the first act. It takes a while to set up the premise of this film. And in doing so, setting up the film, setting up the idea, the premise, it really doesn't give you much. That's the big problem and why it's not gripping from the start. You don't learn all that much about these characters. They don't really delve into or endear you to most of them, even our main duo that we're supposed to really care about. You do slightly, but I don't think it's as effective as it needed to be in really gripping you and attaching you to these people so that you cared about their peril later on more than just a base level. Also, it wouldn't be an alien film without stupid decisions, and yeah, we've got some real stupid kids in this film. And the screenplay makes up for some of the stupidity in non-logical ways. Characters really jump to conclusions or to ideas out of the clear blue, where you're like, how did you even think of that? So these folks are either dumb as a rock or a bit clairvoyant. They had a peek at that screenplay before stepping foot on their ship mission. And you could say it's nothing really new for the Alien franchise. It's a lot of retread. It is hitting on the greatest hits of the franchise, giving you the basics of an Alien film. Now, I think that's actually refreshing because we've tried to go so far off of that in more recent films and really, expand and get super philosophical the whole bit. And it keeps a touch of that, but more just for lore purposes, and instead reins it all back, gives you a group of people fighting these aliens to live. But it doesn't have anything to say, really. It doesn't give you anything new in terms of what's happening on screen. But for me, it executed it really well, and I had a blast with Alien Romulus, especially as we are trucking through that second act. It's not often I feel like second acts are my favorite part of films. The second act of this film is easily my favorite part of the movie. The third act is also really, really strong, but they make some weird creative decisions that I'm gonna need to sit on and get used to. Yeah, some crazy looking stuff. But I think Alien fans are going to really enjoy Romulus. It has plenty of callbacks to the old films. It has callbacks even to the newer films. I didn't know heading into watching this, it's a midquel between Alien and Aliens, but watching the film, that definitely makes sense. There is one line, though, where I think they took the fan service too far because the character who says an iconic line from Sigourney Weaver, Ripley, it just did not fit their character at all. They didn't need to say it. Otherwise, the tie-ins to the other Alien films worked really well for me. So overall, if you're a fan of the Alien franchise, definitely head out, give this a full price ticket opening weekend. I think you're going to have a blast. If you like horror sci-fi, I think you're going to have a blast. This takes it back to that horror root of the franchise and does so quite effectively. But if you're looking for something new out of the Alien franchise, if you were dying to see the end of this latest trilogy with David, Michael Fassbender, the whole bit, you might be disappointed by this film because it, by and large, ditches out on all of that and takes us back to the basics, giving you a more straightforward, rudimentary alien experience. So that was my review for Alien Romulus. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below and subscribe to the channel so that you are always up to date on all of our latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see Alien Romulus, or have you already checked it out? Let me know all of your thoughts and comments either in that comment section down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your continued support. Mwah. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.